Hello, everybody. So I haven't been on here in a couple days. My backles, okay. Yesterday I was tired. I had to do some stuff for my little sister, so I was not online. But four of you guys are here, so hello to you. Hello, Jay. How are you? Hello, Kayla. How are you, darling? So I'm just uploading some more clips here for me to post in here so we can chit chat about wrestling as we always do. Because we don't have nothing else to do. Okay. Hello, Chef Rike. Hello. Hi, AC2. Why is your nose burning? What is going on? Did you eat some hot sauce or something? Like what's happening? Hey, so what? How are you? Alrighty. So I'm not gonna keep y'all long. Whoever comes in is whoever comes in. If you guys want to come in and sit and talk with me and just vibe like we do on Instagram, I'll be more than happy to do that. Hold on, y'all. What? What y'all want? Okay, I'm finna go back. I'm finna go. They ain't want nothing hell. It's just my mama and my sisters and them. Anyway, my internet do work. Hateful ass. Hi, Alexis. How are you doing? Hello, Kenny. Hello, Anthony. How are you? So, how do you feel about NXT this week? I'm gonna get to NXT. Give me a second. Hello, Janae. Yes, I'm there. Like I had to pop in and out. My sister called me, so I had to go and see what she wanted. I was busy listening to Buddy Holly by Weezer, and Girl Done went live. Well, girl, you can still go listen to your music. You can still go listen to your music. You driving around? Are you okay? Or is your energy up? Are you all right, energy wise? Like I really want to know how you're feeling. I'll probably call you to find out how you're feeling because I don't want you to wear the mask and not go anywhere. Okay, cool. All right, so I really want y'all to go listen to my podcast with my homegirls. I always got the podcast rolling. We have the new podcast coming up this week. I'm gonna have that posted by tomorrow. So make sure you guys go check out the podcast. It's gonna involve our situation with the tiers. That's at Down for the Count. You guys can go and look up our podcast on all the podcast platforms. Okay. So go and check it out. Tiffany WWE entrance is Cryberry by Meg Thee Stallion. Child, boom. Never in a day. Tried to turn up the volume and ended up doing a screen capture. Oh god. Harpo, who this? I don't know, but Anthony doing a lot, honey. I Crybaby's a cute song, but that's not something that I would use for my entrance, love. But thank you for the stuff. Energy isn't low, but I need to try and do something tomorrow. Okay, cool. I think I might have an idea for you. I'll tell you in the chat. Any whoosies. So the Down for the Count podcast is up, and you guys can go and listen to it. We have the Royal Rumble recap that is up there. We went over the Royal Rumble completely, and I think you guys would enjoy that episode. So go and check it out. But let's talk about some of the stuff that has happened this week on wrestling, shall we? So the Women's Dusty Classic is coming to a close, as is the actual Dusty Classic. I do something wrong, but we all know that you seem like a pop theme kind of gal. Actually, I would probably use hip hop because I am an R&B head. I do like pop music, but I would be more hip hop. It would be very, very hip hop focused. Raw was so good this week. You really liked Raw, huh? Raw was okay for me. It wasn't great. It was okay. Wear your mask, people. Yes, absolutely. Please wear your mask. It does help prevent others from getting the virus, but it also slows your chances of getting the virus. Please wear your mask. I watched NXT and I was confusion. Like, who is these people besides Balor? And that's it. So, okay, let's talk about the Women's Dusty Classic. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys' comments back up here in a second. So, if you haven't been paying attention to the classic has been rolling on through 205 Live and NXT, which I thought was really cool because they know that the women are the draw. So they use the women to pull people into 205 Live. Very smart WWE. You got a keen mind, and I likes that. Okay. So the classic was okay. The classic for the women was made up of a lot of made up teams. You had Indy Hartwell and, of course, Candice LeRae. You've got Shotzi and Ember Moon. Dakota Kai and Raquel have already been tag teaming for a while. You also had Aaliyah, and I think her name, I don't remember the girl's name that was her partner, so my bad. Um and there was a Casey and Caden, which they got knocked out by Dakota and Raquel last night. So the classic is going to roll on, and we're going to have the semifinals. I believe this is going to be the semifinals for next week. This is going to be Shotzi and Ember versus Indy and Candice. And the thing is, and the thing is, I honestly think Shotzi and Ember are gonna get beat Candice and Indy because it's gonna give Shotzi some get back. She hasn't been on the greatest role lately. Going up against Candice, she ended up losing in the War Games match. Her team lost. She lost another match against Candice before that. So it would be smart to let them roll over on Candice and Indy, and then they move into Raquel and Dakota possibly, or actually winning the winning the Dusty Women's Classic. If that's the case, then fine. I personally would have preferred Casey and Caden to do it. I think they had a good team. It's solid. It works. They flow nicely. No shade to Dakota and Raquel, but to me, they just seem like an oddball pair that were put together. And yes, they work, but I prefer Casey and Caden. And it really has nothing to do with heel or face because I actually like Raquel Gonzalez a lot. And I do like Casey. And sometimes I like Casey and I love Caden. But the thing is, I like the dynamic between Casey and Caden, and I like the way it worked out for them and how they operate versus Dakota and Raquel. But I too think that going to give Dakota and Raquel the Dusty Women's Classic, which to me would be okay. But I'm not sure where they would go with it. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I know at some point they're going to have to give them a title shot, which I'm hoping that title shot is up against Lana and Naomi, and Lana and Naomi could possibly drop the titles to them. I would not mind that due to the fact that Lana and Naomi kind of would be operate as a team, and it'd be great for Naomi to get that tag team title under her belt. But I really want those titles in NXT because I feel like Casey and Caden could take those titles, elevate them, and then you could have a really good match between Casey, Caden, and the Ryan Squad. I think they would play very well against each other and turn that into a feud of some sort and let them, reside in NXT for just a little while. That would be perfect for me. But we'll just have to wait and see. Let me see what you guys think. So Mother Naomi is back, of course. Dakota and Raquel about to win. At least someone did. On this day, I see clearly, yes. Edge was there at NXT, and they say that Edge elevated the match between Pete Dunne and Finn Balor. So I didn't get to watch NXT, but I am going off of some notes that I took from some of the clips that I saw. He said, I just wanted to sing that. Right? WWE had their quarterly call today and said they don't think they're losing viewers on Raw. Well, they would be very, very wrong if they asked me, but whatever. Is Raquel the female Strowman? I wouldn't call Raquel the female Strowman. Raquel is a better wrestler than Strowman, a much, much better wrestler. She is more well rounded and she has a better wrestling arsenal. She's lighter on her feet than Strowman is. She's not as clunky in the ring as he is. So I wouldn't equate her to Strowman. I would put Raquel more in the league of like her and Rhea Ripley move similar. They have better in ring, they have better ring awareness. So I would say she's in that realm. She sells better than Strowman. She sells better than a lot of big people in the WWE. So I would give she's a much, much better wrestler than some of the big people in WWE. So I wouldn't put her in the same category with Strowman. Cameron Grimes to the Moon returns next week. Okay, no Raquel is Sonya times two. Hi, Don. I just know she be kicking people strong as fuck. I just wouldn't put her in the same category as Strowman. She's a better wrestler than he is. I really see that for Casey and Caden. I love the way they gel really well as a tag team. Edge put Karrion Kross in his place. Oh, did he? I'm curious as to what he said because I didn't get to see that. Oh, and the person that Xia Li is that's over with Xia Li is a female. Give me half a sunflower. Janae did say that Xia Li's control or her handler is Karen Q, and she's been saying that for quite some time. So I will give her flowers. I personally thought that it was a man. I'm gonna stick to that until I see something different. But you know what? Do you? I will give her flowers. And when if they reveal the person who is doing it, and it's most definitely Karen Q, I swear, Janae, you'll get a post from me just as I did Nicole today, and I will give you all the flowers in all of the world. All right? But I'm giving you a little half a flower today. AEW are so desperate for views that they would bring anybody in AEW just to give views. I don't know. As much shit as I talk about AEW, they do have quality wrestlers there. So I don't if they are doing that, they don't have to. And that's very sad. Karrion Kross, Crayon Cross. Don't you talk about Karrion Kross like that. She said Crayon Cross look crazy, like eyes about to pop out his head crazy. That's part of his appeal. Watch the promo, the cut about them. They call her a woman. Well, I didn't see that promo, so I'm only going off of what I've seen. So when I go back and watch it, I'll most definitely give you your flowers, love. No worries. Just that I'm telling the car. Ain't no car gonna whoop your ass. All right, so I'm looking forward to this match between Candice and Indy, but I do not see Candice and Indy advancing. Ember and Shotzi are going to advance, and it's going to be Ember and Shotzi versus the Dakota and Raquel. Hold on a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. So let's get into the rest of NXT. So the Dusty Classic is supposed to continue with the men. And I see that Tommaso and Thatcher have learned to work together and have beaten Undisputed Era, which is shocking to me. I expected Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, I believe, to advance in this tournament, but they didn't. They lost to Ciampa and Thatcher, and they're going up against the grizzled young veterans. I want the grizzled young veterans to advance over Ciampa and Thatcher. And as much as I like both of those men, I truly prefer the grizzled young veterans to them both. I think they're absolutely amazing competitors. They're just great. I'm going to do it now. I'm a snitch. Oh, child. Like, I already called him crazy, and she was like, "Bitch, help us, Lord." So I want the Grizzled Young Veterans to advance over the Tommaso and Thatcher team. Although I do like Tommaso and Thatcher together, I think they should stay as together as a team after this is over, and they should definitely go after those tag titles once it is decided what they're going to do with the winner of the Dusty Classic. Now, these are the semifinals. The semifinals for the men's Dusty Classic is still pretty large. They still have 4 teams left in this classic. So there's another set of teams that are going. Give me 1 second, y'all. I got a phone call. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Anyway, so we got MSK going up against Legado Fantasma, unless this match has already happened. All right. As she should. All right. Okay, I made it 15. What? Kenny be gone, then come and talk about everybody, right? Undertaker tease. Okay, so MSK is going up against Legado Fantasma, the team, next week for the semifinals of the Dusty Classic. I don't see Legado Fantasma getting past MSK. MSK has had a strong booking since they got there. If you don't know who MSK is, they are the Little Rascals from TNA. Trey Miguel is still in Impact. He decided to go back to Impact. I don't know how long he's going to be there or if he signed a long-term contract, but Trey Miguel is over in Impact as a singles competitor while his two former partners of the Little Rascals are now called MSK in NXT. I don't see them losing in this match. It's going to be a hard-fought match, but they're going to win. They're going to advance. Now, in the Thatcher match against Grizzled Young Veterans, I want the Grizzled Young Veterans to win, but I'm not sure that they will. If they don't, I guarantee you that MSK is going to win this overall tournament. So, and then they announced that your resident banjo Cameron Grimes is coming back. I don't know why this was an announcement. I don't understand it, but Cameron Grimes ain't one of my favorite wrestlers in NXT, so I could care less that he coming back, staying, leaving, departing, future endeavored. I don't give a shit about Cameron Grimes, really. Um, in an interview, he said they joined NXT because it fits their needs. He wanted to stay in Impact because he's a trainer at their school. Oh, interesting. Well, as much as I enjoyed Trey Miguel in Impact, and I was disappointed that he wasn't a part of the Rascals or MSK in this instance. I respect what he's done, and I hope he has a good future in Impact. I like him. He said with him in Impact, he'll wrestle more than some of the NXT wrestlers, and he can train whenever he wants. I don't know. In NXT, he would be a premier star. He would be on television all the time. He'd be a part of the performance center. So, I mean, but you know what? Do you, Trey? I'm not going to tell you how to live your life or what to do with it. I'm aware of that. I haven't gotten to Steve Cutler yet, so just give me a second. Okay, so WWE did announce, well, NXT announced that NXT Vengeance Day is coming. And just like I gave Janae her half flower as she asked for, um, I'm going to give Nicole hers. Now, if you don't know, if you don't listen to our podcast, the one of my co-hosts is Nicole. And Nicole has been announcing these pay-per-views for NXT and the ones that she believed they should utilize for the last couple of years since we started the podcast. She has been saying that she felt like NXT should pick up some of the older pay-per-views that are now defunct that WWE had that were some of their best. And Vengeance was one of them. So they've decided to, bring it in and call it Vengeance Day for NXT. In Your House is another defunct pay-per-view that WWE once had, as well as the Great American Bash and, of course, Halloween Havoc. They have picked up these pay-per-views and turned them into conglomerates that we can all enjoy. These are themed pay-per-views that work for the actual feuds that are heading into February 14th. So, with that being said, Pete Dunne is supposed to go up against Finn Balor at Vengeance, I believe. And Io Shirai is supposed to have a triple threat match with Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm. So, I guess sometimes you got to do what's best for you. I agree. I think if that's what he wants to do, I'm not going to take that from him. Absolutely not. Io is retaining. I'm sure she will. If she does, she does. If she doesn't, I'm not going to be mad about it. I think a change will be in order. And however they decide to change it is totally up to them. So let's go into some different news. So there's a former WWE superstar by the name of Tyler Rex that has revealed that they are transgender. They prefer to go by the name Gabby, and they have transitioned to being a woman. So congratulations to her, and good luck in life and in everything, Miss Gabby. Okay. Now let's talk about Mr. Steve Cutler. So if you don't know who Steve Cutler is, that's Steve Cutler. He was one of the Forgotten Sons. And this guy was recently cut from WWE, released. Now, according to the information that I got from Miss Janae here, and of course, after doing some research on my own, the reasoning behind his release is a little foggy. Now, they're saying in these articles that he had some backstage heat after he contracted COVID-19 in early January. Now, after he contracted the virus, he was sidelined, of course. And if you notice, you hadn't seen the Knights of the Round Table on television with Corbin in quite some time. So I was asking the question a few weeks ago, where were they? They're usually by his side. Why haven't they been coming out there with him? And I hadn't gotten any answers. So apparently this is why. He got some heat because of that. He also had been trying to get back on television along with his tag team partner, had been trying to get back on television for weeks and months after this whole Jackson Riker situation. He even offered to help in the PC. And he offered to work with the big man class and take the bumps for them in that big man class. And Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler were just they were unfairly punished for working with the company a few years ago, along with Jackson Riker. Jackson Riker is still employed by WWE, but Steve Cutler is gone. The issue I have with this is Jackson Riker is still there, and he obviously has some issues and is a part of the cult. Like it's just ridiculous. And I don't understand why he had to be fired for contracting COVID. If he didn't follow protocol or he got it, from somewhere by accident, that's different. But it seems like they're punishing him for contracting COVID. And sometimes it happens when it happens. You can't control that. It's not fair. So he's been punished twice, essentially. He was punished for a behavior that he didn't exhibit the first time that the Forgotten Sons were sidelined. And now this second time he was released and he didn't even do anything wrong, I don't believe. And even if he contracted COVID, they have had people who've contracted COVID in the company and they were able to come back to work. Something is amiss here. There should be more information than just him getting backstage heat from Vince and he contracted COVID. That doesn't make any sense to me, because there have been other superstars who've contracted COVID and they didn't get any backstage heat, i.e., Drew McIntyre had COVID-19 just 2 weeks ago, as did several other people who had it earlier in the pandemic. Other people have come in contact with people who had COVID that sidelined them from being a part of major storylines as well as being a part of major TV. When you're looking at Mia Yim, she got COVID. They obviously sidelined Keith Lee due to the fact that he was in close proximity. You had Drew McIntyre, as I mentioned before. There was some scares before. They had already had a scare with Miz earlier in the year. He came in, he had a fever. They sidelined him for that. Natalya, Nia Jax, Lana, Sonya, Mandy, they all went on a boat during the COVID-19 quarantine, and they had to be sidelined due to high fever and possible COVID-19 contraction, as did TJ, Natalya's wife, and Natalya herself. So it's baffling to me. It doesn't make sense. I need more than you telling me he had backstage heat because he contracted COVID in early January. Anybody can contract COVID. So it can't be that. It has to be something else. And I need for somebody to break it down for me in layman's terms. So if you're listening to this and you hear my voice and you're a part of the ins and outs of this company and you actually know the real reason why he got fired, I really like to know why he got fired because it doesn't make sense to me. This article starts off by saying he had backstage heat because he contracted COVID-19. And then it goes into reasonings as to why Steve Cutler is a good dude. Like he was willing to take bumps in the performance center for the big man class, and everybody backstage really likes him. So something about this doesn't sound right. It sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me, and I'm gonna need some clarity. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna move on because I'm already getting pissed off. But all right, let's go back to some of these comments. Okay, let's go up a little bit. Already talked about Trey Miguel, but they kept Jackson Riker. Facts, Don. Jay is injured. I don't think I was talking about Jay Uso, but okay. That's not new. Jay Uso is injured. I was aware that Jay Uso was injured, but I don't think that I was speaking about Jay Uso being injured. WWE is just firing people just to fire them. I wouldn't say that. They fired Lars Sullivan for good reason. I'm going to get to Lars Sullivan in a second. I think there's more to this story. Absolutely. Jackson Riker got to get off our TV. Well, apparently he's not. So it's going to get more. It's got to be more than that. COVID is affecting everyone. They know damn well that ain't the reason. Of course not. That's not the reason. It's some bullshit. Hey, Nicole. I know damn well it has nothing to do with COVID-19. Somebody's lying. They just had taken their anger out on them except for Jackson Riker. That makes no sense. It makes no sense for them to take their anger out on Steve Cutler alone, leave Wesley Blake there, and leave Jackson Riker there. What did Steve Cutler do that caused him to get fired? Because it could not have been his contraction of COVID-19, because if that was the case, there are many other superstars who are currently champions and in storylines that need to be removed from the company too. If it's about COVID-19, because if you're going to be real, let's be 100% real. Drew McIntyre contracted COVID at an odd time that could have shelved him for weeks, would have cost him their Royal Rumble match. It would have cost them an opportunity to have a decent pay-per-view leading into Elimination Chamber. A lot of things could have happened to Drew McIntyre having COVID-19. So you're telling me that Steve Cutler, who was rarely on television, that magically the biggest issue they have is the fact that he contracted COVID-19 and Vince was pissed about it. That he should have been pissed about Drew contracting it too. He should have been mad about a lot of people contracting it. So stop it. It can't be about the fucking COVID. It has to be something else. And if that's the case, then you're playing favorites and you need to cut it out. Because like I said earlier, and Nicole is correct, Nia, Dana, Mandy, if I recall, Sonya, Natalya, Lana, All of them went on a boat retreat in the dead middle of the quarantine, were on that boat, and they damn near came in contact. They all came in contact with someone who had it. It sidelined them, cost Sonia and Mandy pieces of their story from being seen on TV. It cost Naya, Dana, Mandy, all of them were sidelining off TV for at least 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. But you fire Steve Cutler for this? No fucking way. There's no way that's the reason why he got fired. It's a bunch of bullshit. Hello, Tirza. That's just from someone inside WWE, not from him himself. So there's def more to this story. Absolutely. What I missed. We're talking about Steve Cutler, one of the Forgotten Sons, and he was formerly called one of the Knights of the Round Table, which was one of Corbin's little minions. He's been released from WWE. Now they're not saying exactly, how he was released or why, but they're giving us this bullshit ass answer as to why he's released, and it does not make sense. And the article itself, the way that it's written, they write it so that it starts off where it says Vince had backstage was mad at him for contracting COVID, but then they go into a piece of the article explaining why they love him so much and why he was such a good guy. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is it? Was he a dick for getting COVID, or you loved him? You can't have it both ways. You've got to choose. Exactly. Hanging around that parlor rep, child. I feel he did something that backstage was already mad about, but we don't have the whole story, which we need. Exactly. Somebody in WWE pulling a rank or something right now. I don't know, but it's odd. And 2 weeks is a long time to be off TV. Exactly. So you're off television. But my thing is this: I could understand it better if he was in a major storyline and he contracted COVID. But even still, you had your champion off of TV for 2 weeks because he contracted COVID. You did not punish him for that. So why are you punishing Cutler? Something in the milk ain't clean. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't think it's pulling rank. I think something happened and he got released, and him contracting COVID excuse to dump him. Well, anybody with 2 brain cells would know that that's not the fucking reason why he got released. That just doesn't make any damn sense. It just doesn't. So I'm gonna move on because it's making me mad. It's just stupid. I believe you. WWE can be petty as fuck when they with their releases like that. The real shit will pop up. So I know. It's just that don't make no damn sense. Okay, quickly. Lars Sullivan got released from WWE, and if you ask me, good fucking riddance. I'm sorry, but I was not a fan of Lars Sullivan to begin with. I thought his wrestling was ridiculously horrible. I didn't like the way he wrestled. I didn't like his character. I hated his booking. Not to mention, on a personal level, he's an absolute piece of shit. So, good riddance. Bye. Don't come back. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't. Um, I don't think him contracting COVID is the reason for his release. Something must have happened. He must have done something. People just don't get released for nothing. I agree. Something about that ain't right. All right. So, like I said, Sullivan got released. He gone back. We not even go try to get into it no more than we have to. It's just he gone. I'm not going there. Hold on a second, y'all. I gotta get my charger cord from my computer. All right, y'all. Let me see y'all comments here. Allegedly, Lars said he's done wrestling for good altogether. Well, good for Lars Sullivan because I ain't gonna watch him on the TV. No way. And quite frankly, he wasn't that good. I don't think he truly could stomach all the hell that he was being put through, and rightfully so. Fans on in wrestling are not, they don't forgive easy, and Lars Sullivan has said and done some questionable things from his, you know, um, wonderful conversation skills about the LGBTQIA community, and then his racial slurs that he threw around all willy-nilly, and not to mention the fact that the man was in a gay porn. He was gay for pay, but had the nerve to talk about gay people. All of that and so much more. Not to mention that he's just not a fun person to watch. He don't have good personality, and the only reason why he was a freak is because he looked like one. If you don't like it, you can kiss my ass because that's just the goddamn truth. Period. I don't think WWE reasoning for letting him go is that whoever gave out the information ain't in the know as to why. So I'm not going to dump on WWE over some producer's so-called information. I don't know why he was released, but I'm going to tell you this. If they're saying that it's because of COVID, that's some bullshit. He don't need to scare no more kids. They probably are guessing on. Yeah. Okay. Well, good for Lars. I wasn't checking for him like that. A lot of people wasn't. So, in the words of Portia Bash, she, ooh, child, he bad. Good. Lars was a bad investment from the jump. I have to agree. Lars is battling within himself. That's self-hatred. I don't know what he's battling with. He might have a lot of demons. And quite frankly, I just don't care enough to want to help or to care about how great or bad he was. I don't give a shit about Lars Sullivan. I can give less than two fucks about Sullivan. That's just true tea, baby. That's just true tea. Okay, hold on, y'all. We're going to talk about Damian Priest and his debut on Monday Night Raw. And then we're going to talk about some shit I heard, child, about Bad Bunny. They say Bad Bunny been training in the PC and is going to be wrestling, possibly could be wrestling at WrestleMania. I'm like, what? Are you serious? So I guess WWE, I guess Bad Bunny's willing to train and become a wrestler for a short amount of time. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, did anybody watch AEW today? Did anybody watch AEW? Nobody, nobody, no, nobody watched AEW. I mean, I've been hearing some things about AEW, and I'm gonna talk about them a little bit because I promised I would be inclusive and speak about everybody. And since I didn't watch NXT and I'm talking about NXT, I'm gonna talk about AEW too. I'm going to be fair, okay? But Janae wants to talk about Mr. Priest. So let's talk about Damian Priest. Damian Priest had a very good debut on the main roster Monday. I did talk about Damian Priest Monday in my previous live. So go ahead and if you want to go ahead and check that out after this live is over, you most definitely can. But Damian Priest had a great debut. at the Royal Rumble, and he had a good debut on Monday Night Raw. It was solid to put him with Miz and Morrison. It builds him as a good face character, as well as having Bad Bunny, push him up a bit. That really, really gave him a solid push on the Raw roster. So good for them for giving Damian Priest a good push. Those are the signs. He a fine specimen with his deep ass voice. His voice creeps me out, not gonna lie. It is very deep, and he's a nice looking dude, but him and Bad Bunny are teaming up to take on Miz and Morrison. Okay. Hey, if Snooki could do it, Bad Bunny can do it. Hey, I can't even lie. Snooki did pretty damn good when she was there. And from what I hear, Bad Bunny is supposed to be training to be a part of WWE. I don't know when he's going to wrestle or if he's going to wrestle at WrestleMania, but I do know that they said they spotted him at the Performance Center and he was training. So good for Bad Bunny. What is they doing with Miz and the Money in the Bank? Don't know. don't know at all. I didn't realize Damian Priest is 38. Wow, that's very old for a wrestler in the WWE to come in. He can't be 38. You sure? Well, okay. It's time for Ciampa to come to the main roster, and Mia Yim. Mia Yim is on the main roster, love. She is. Her name is Reckoning. She's a part of Retribution. She is on the main roster. But Bad Bunny is supposed to be a wrestler. He's supposed to wrestle now. So we will see what he's going to bring to the table. I'm sure it's just going to be a match. Maybe it's going to be a match between Priest and Bad Bunny going up against Morrison and Miz, which, I mean, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I watch AEW. Okay. I think Ciampa is wrestling on borrowed time. Yes, Ciampa will soon transition into producer for backstage, which I like. Um, I was hoping that he would transition into a producer, but they would like move him up to Raw. I'm hoping against hope for that, and like he would have like a lot of say so in that transition. But niggas and plus. Yep, born in 1982. Oh wow. DDP started wrestling in his late 30s. Really? Oh shit, I forgot about Reckoning. Well, they need to book her in the storyline or get some matches in because that ain't it. Well, first of all, she contracted COVID recently. So she is not going to be on TV next week as she wasn't on TV last week. That is the reason why also she was not a part of the Rumble. And she'll be back once her 14-day quarantine is up. So she'll probably be back next Monday, more than likely. MJ and Jericho are going for the tag titles. All right. Okay, I made it to 10:45. I gotta work in the morning. Good night, y'all. Good night, Janae. Don't break your fingers this time. Okay. Just go to work and don't break your fingers. Cause girl. MJ and Jericho are going after the tag titles. Okay, fam. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I really that never mind. Britt knocked out Thunder Rosa, knocked Thunder Rosa ass out. Well, Britt Baker is a heel, so I'm not surprised by that. Oh, they tell me they're good night. I do know that Shaq is supposed to show up there next week, I believe, to confront Cody Rhodes. I am not looking forward to that, nor do I care to watch that. I didn't really know what else happened on AEW, but given the fact that There wasn't really much going on. I'm not surprised. Let me go and see exactly what happened. AEW Dynamite. Since we on live, I might as well go on and see. It's gonna be a mixed tag. Oh Lord, have mercy. What happened at the wedding with what? So did they have their wedding? Oh shit! Somebody got knocked out. Okay, so Kenta showed up on AEW Dynamite mainly because he's the number one contender for um he's the number one contender for his belt over in New Japan. So Kenta showed up after Moxley showed up in New Japan to kind of flex on him a bit. Okay. Dr. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa squared off for the first time. And okay, so let's do we're looking at Unholy Matrimony. All right, so I'm gonna read this synopsis of what happened with this damn match. With this damn wedding. It just seems so weird. Good night. Mother Naomi is back. I miss the glow. Yeah, Naomi's been back since Royal Rumble Love. Sting cussed out Team Taz. Orange Cassidy destroyed their wedding. That's funny. Wait, why did Orange Cassidy? Well, okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense. All right, so it says wrestling weddings are just a powder keg waiting to explode, and it was no different with Kip and Penelope Ford, along with the best man Miro took to the ring for their nuptials. I'm not going to say this segment wasn't chaotic mess because it definitely was. However, say it wasn't as terrible as I was anticipating, which is a compliment. There was a lot to enjoy here for the sinister minister James Mitchell officiating, to Miro's references to his past weddings in WWE, to Orange Cassidy emerging out of the cake to sneak out his revenge on Kip and Miro. Like that was the exact same thing that happened with Lana. All right. So that said, the highlight and what made the whole segment worth it was when the fans responded to Miro's repeated question of what is love by singing the chorus from Hadaway's 90s classic of the same name. Oh, baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Only in wrestling. Oh, wow. So the audience made that segment great. That's a miss. That is an absolute miss. Wow. That's interesting. So, anywho, I guess that was the wedding. I'm I don't even know what to say to that. So y'all put some comments in the comment section and we'll just talk. Cause I don't honestly that that's exactly the same wedding that Lana and Bobby Lashley had. The only thing that didn't match was the fact that there was nobody coming out claiming they were sleeping with Lana too. And that was it. There was no exes coming out, and that was pretty much it. Like what? Did I watch NXT yesterday? No, I did not watch NXT, but I did go over NXT. So I am aware of some of the things that are happening with NXT. I know that the Dusty Classic is moving along. Thatcher and Ciampa are still in the tournament. They're going up against Grizzled Young Veterans. And then you have Legado Fantasma going up against MSK for the men. And for the women, you have Ember Moon and Shotzi going up against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in the semifinals, and they're getting ready. And one of those teams will advance to go up against Dakota Kai and Raquel. So I'm aware of what's going on, and I do know that Edge was in NXT, and he kind of, added some boost to NXT last night. So it was an interesting show from what I heard, and I did get to see some clips. So there's that. AEW Women's Tournament is looking good. Good for them. All right. So what y'all want to talk about? Because I has nothing. Wrestling was pretty slow, pretty slow this week. There wasn't really much to wrestling. I'm a little shocked by AEW though. That baffles me. It's very baffling. Wow. Let's see what y'all got going on in here. No questions in the chat box. Usually I be trying to catch up on comments before I can even get done. The gears from Royal Rumble. Are we talking about like my favorite gears from Royal Rumble? I know a lot of people hated Sasha's gear, but I absolutely love Sasha's gear. I thought Sasha's gear was dope. I always like Bianca's gear because she makes it herself and she's so creative and innovative. And I love Naomi's gear from the Rumble. I thought it was fantastic. It looked good on her. I actually liked Lana's gear as well. I thought her gear was really cool. Um, for the men, there really wasn't much going on for gears with the men. I mean, Damian Priest's gear was pretty normal of what he wears. So on occasion, so there wasn't really much going. The women was the ones who really showed out in terms of match quality and with their gear. Period. They were the ones who were like, we coming, we here, and we finna show y'all why we here. Like that was pretty much it when it came to gears. Um, Tiff, what do you think is going to happen on Friday Night SmackDown? I'm 100% sure that Edge is going to show up on SmackDown, and that's going to be high key more entertaining than what we've seen from the other two shows with him being there. I'm sure Roman is going to want to engage with him more. And if they were smart, they would put Edge up against Roman rather than having him go up against Drew or Finn Balor. I just think that the story and the villainous character that Roman is playing right now, I can't get nothing out, will just be amazing up against the ultimate face. And he's like the ultimate anti-hero and up against Edge. It just would be fucking perfect. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think they're gonna keep going with Big E, Apollo Crews, and Sami Zayn, and I think that's gonna be ended up leading to a match that's booked at Elimination Chamber. I'm sure of that. Um, and I think that Bianca is gonna decide to go up against Sasha, which I told y'all I really want her to go up against Asuka. But that's just me and my selfishness. I still like both women though. Do you think they should make Asuka defend her title in Elimination Chamber? It would be interesting if she does. I mean, I would love to see it. I think that Asuka has been generous enough with championships where she doesn't have to be stingy. I think she could defend it in the chamber. That'd be a fun thing to look at. And the women would get a chance to shine and it won't be so stale like it was last year. Do you think Sasha Banks should defend her title in Elimination Chamber? No. I honestly think Sasha, since Asuka had a break from Royal Rumble, I think Sasha should get a break from Royal Rumble. I mean, from Elimination Chamber. I wouldn't have her compete with her title at Elimination Chamber. I would have her if Bianca, you know what I'm saying? If Bianca was like still hadn't decided and she, had another match with Bayley or some shit like that, I would have her attack her so it can kick off the feud and she immediately chose her or something like that. I don't know. I don't think I would have her defend her title. And I know that's probably wrong because she's one of your biggest stars and you would want her to have her title, on that show. But Asuka's a big star too. And I would have had Asuka defend her title at Rumble. And I know there was a time crunch and everything. due to the last man standing match and all that good shit. But I would have Asuka defend her title at Chamber and let Sasha have the night off that night. I really would. I didn't like Natalya's gear, neither did I. I didn't care for Natalya's gear either. I thought it washed her out completely, and it was just it wasn't cute. Do you think Shayna will become Raw Women's Champion? Not as long as she holding them tag team titles, she won't. I think eventually she will be Raw Women's Champion. But it's probably gonna be sometime next year. I don't see her being champion anytime soon this year, though. I could be wrong, though, and you guys know I've been known to be wrong. Yeah, now you look like a robot in that gear. I don't know if she look like a robot, but I just didn't like it. It was real. It was it was a weird color for her for that overall of her gear to be that color. It was like her skin tone. It was just odd. I think for Elimination Chamber that the women's tag title should be defended in the Chamber. I don't think that they will be defended in the Chamber, honestly. Um, I think more than likely those titles will be defended at Vengeance Day with NXT, but I don't think that they're going to be defended in the Chamber. Number one, they would need 6 teams to be able to defend them in the Chamber. And right now, they don't even have enough to fill up half of the Chamber. They don't have enough teams. Mandy and Dana are one. They have Lana and Naomi, if you want to include them. Asuka and Charlotte aren't going to be a team anymore. So they're out. They have Riot Squad. You can put Natalya with Tamina. And that's it. I mean, that's all I can think of. They're going to have to build Shayna's schoolyard bully character back up again, though. But I hope she will eventually, at least going into next year, yes. I don't really care for the schoolyard bully character, and I don't think she has to do that in order to be a champion. And quite frankly, I think that bully shit is played out. It's overused, and sometimes you just have to be real and be like, "I want to be champion, and you're in my way," and that's simple. That's not a bully. That's just you getting people out of your way. And I wish Natty would switch up her attire back to a simple top and tights. I never liked those bodysuits she had. I don't have a problem with her bodysuits. Honestly, I love the black bodysuit she used to wear with the pink accent. I don't have a problem with any of that. I just didn't like this recent uniform she had when she came out for the Rumble. I didn't care for that. They should have Bobby Lashley defend in a Chamber because I'm tired of him with that title that he don't defend. More than likely, Bobby Lashley will defend at the Chamber, but it won't be in the Chamber. I think that his match with Riddle will be announced for Elimination Chamber probably after Vengeance Day is set up. And they're going to announce it and he'll have his match then. If not, Riddle will probably earn that title on a Monday Night Raw sometime. Either way, I don't see Lashley keeping that title past WrestleMania. If he does, I'd be shocked. Any more questions or comments? If not, then I'm gonna go. I want the old Shayna back. I like Shayna the way she is. I like her both ways, to be honest with you. I don't have an issue with that. I don't like Shayna being built up as some unstoppable force. That makes it not fun to watch. I've never liked characters like that because there's no fun in watching it when these people are just, they're unstoppable and they're just barreling through everybody. There's no fun in that. It becomes predictable and boring, and you just don't want to watch that every day. So I like her being someone who is beatable. I want Shayna to turn face and see how it would be. I don't know how it would be. It'd be interesting. I see what you're saying. She don't have to be a bully, but Shayna has a natural mean streak. So either way, she'll just be a force regardless. True. Nia Jax to become a 2-time Raw Women's Champion. No thanks. As much as I like Nia, I don't want to see her as champion right now either. They book her as an unbeatable force too, and I don't like it. And I really, really, really wish they would have some balance when it comes to the booking instead of making it so they have this uphill battle, this underdog story, all the time. Like, I know that it works with some people, but after a while, it just gets played out. Well, ladies and gents, that's just my time. I got to go. I will talk to you guys Friday after Monday night, after SmackDown, actually, which is tomorrow. So, you guys enjoy your time. Go get you some sleep. Go get you some food. Go do something. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't talking about nothing in here, and I got to go. So, y'all make sure that you go to Down for the Count and go listen to our podcast. I'm going to work on the podcast that's supposed to go up tonight. And I will see you guys in my next live, which will be Friday. Okay? Let me put y'all last couple of comments up here. Natty and Tamina can be a dominant team. I want Naomi versus Bianca versus Ember because they all really high flyers. That's not a bad matchup. And Carmella should just team Bayley for now. I mean, she definitely could. It's up to Bayley, though. Y'all have a good night. Bye, Chef Reek. Hey, hello. Bye-bye. 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 Goodbye to everybody. I hope you guys have a good night.